Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here and welcome back to another episode of our Gibraltar Challenge here on Football Manager 2016. As you can see, it's been another incredibly easy season and I'm very annoyed. I'm very annoyed. The fact that we've actually, look at it, look, we've won all these games, and drawn. And 3 games from the end of the season we pick up our first loss of the season. I'm gutted. I was hoping to get for a fully unbeaten league season. That's annoyed me, that, as we lost the links. I don't know how. We've got a few injuries at the moment, but I don't know how we lost the links. If you look at some of the other results we've had recently, like the 3 games before that, we scored 17 goals. Of course, 10 of them being scored by Twyford. Ooh, thunder and lightning, bloody hell. Right, ignore that. Yeah, we've been doing pretty well this season. As you can probably guess, we've already won the league. Here is the league now when it loads. There we go. We've actually got a game in hand over Britannia, and we're already 24 points up. So, no, 14 points up. Sorry. So we've won the league. We've only got 2 games of the season left, so we're looking pretty strong. As you can see, the competition itself is still going up the rankings, and I'd like to get it a bit further up. And don't get me wrong, we've done really well since we started this career mode. Now we've got an extra 2 Europa League spaces, and we've got the Europa League space for the Cup as well. So 4 teams from Gibraltar going to Europe every single season, which is great. All the other teams are really struggling though, which is a bit annoying. But I've got a little bit of news that might help them out in a minute. Right. I've made a few transfers, ignore that, that's what I'm doing for this season coming. Right, let's have a quick look at who's gone out as first. Basically, I've released a few more of our youngsters just because I wasn't really using them, and I thought it's better off for me to let the other teams in Gibraltar pick them up. For example, Simon Fowler is at Gibraltar United and he's playing first team football. So by me releasing these players, it's actually worked out really well for them. Aidan Ives is now playing first team football for the team in second place, so it's good for them and it's good for Gibraltar as well. I want to try and use as many Gibraltarian players as I can because I want to try and improve the nation, but at the same time they're just not good enough at the moment and we're really struggling. And 2 players we have sold, Sunderland, have gone all out and they've brought Steve Foster off us for 1.2 million. It's a bit disappointing. I didn't really want to sell Steve Foster, but when an offer of 1.2 million comes in, you've got to accept it. He's actually playing for Southampton as well. He's done quite well for them actually. So that was a big sale. And then, of course, Mick Rose was a player we knew we were going to lose anyway. He was wanted by every man and his dog, and he was unhappy at us. So he's gone to Sunderland as well, and he's playing first-team football as well. So, players we brought in. I've made a few transfers the last time I saw you. Of course, we did all these in the last episode. We brought a few more in. We brought in Finn Baird, who is an Australian left attacking midfielder. A player who I was just sort of wandering around, and I like to go to this place every now and again. It's the FFA Centre of Excellence in Australia. Generally, anyone they've got is very good, and you'll see that I've been in here already as well. I've already signed this guy up as well, Hupalani Machego. I'm not quite sure why I signed him. I just saw some greens and I panicked, so I went for it. It's a free transfer anyway, so like I've said in the past, if it's good enough, then we'll keep him. If not, then we'll just let them go. And Tanner... I want to try and probably hold off now until the summer anyway. But yeah, I always like to try and buy some players from them. So Finn Baird was another one. He looks to be very good. Good current ability, good potential as well. So hopefully a very good player for us. And we were struggling a bit with wingers, so that's why I got him. Jeff Illes, I've got no idea. The scouts told me that he was going to be a very good player. We signed him up. And now yeah, this is what's basically happened. I don't know if he's good enough or ever going to be good enough. His stats are going down as well. And the fact that we signed him on a free transfer. He'd been released, but... his last clubs were Cirencester and Blackfield, so he's probably not that good of a player, but we've got him in anyway. Frank Banning, this is a player I very much like. I was looking around some of the African nations, because I know the game likes to generate quite a lot of good African players, and they generated this lad, a Cameroonian striker, 18 years of age, 15 finishing, 15 free kicks, good first touch, and he's got really good stats all across the board. And as you can see so far, 11 games, 9 goals, 8 assists. He's been a cracking player for us, this young lad. He's going to really go far, I think. Kleber Mendez, a player I brought a couple of years ago, has finally come in. A young Ecuadorian centre-back who's been in the... I found him because he was in the Ecuadorian under-20s. Again, doesn't look like he's going to be that fantastic, but well, they've given him a potential rating of 2.5 stars as a fairly good rating, but when I do my little team meeting, it comes up and says he's got a very good future with us, so I don't know. And then, of course, his little friend, Henry Moreta, another Ecuadorian centre-back. Again, decent stats in some of the areas we need him to be. Again, he's a good rating for a youth team and a decent rating for the future as well. But I think it'll be a couple of years before we see those lot. Gustavo Sanchez, a young Argentinian defensive midfielder. Again, I've just brought in quite a few young players, really. just to see how they sort of progress on. And this lad, again, is not fantastic, but I'm just trying to bolster up my reserves and my under-20. So if he develops into a good player, then well, we've done well out of it, I suppose. Now, this is a player I'm very excited about. I don't know why. Well, no, again, it was one the scouts said was going to be really, really good. And we brought him in, and now the coaches are saying he's going to be a low rating for the senior team in the future. So that's a little bit disappointing. But still a very, very good player, it looks to be, for me. I think I'm going to go with the scout a bit more. I'm going to keep a hold of him. He's only 16 years of age. For the stats that he's got at that age, he's better than most of the goalkeepers in Gibraltar already. So he's down in our reserves at the moment, goalkeeping for them. So we'll see how he gets on. And the last player we signed is another goalkeeper, Gordon Kirby, Northern Irish player. Maybe what I should do is keep Gordon Kirby, who's actually our second goalkeeper now. Probably keep him in the reserves and then move Le Guern down into the under-21. So both of them are playing then. They're both playing They're both playing football then for the right age group anyway. So that is all the transfers we've done so far. Of course, we'll have a lot more done before the end of the transfer window, I would imagine. Well, before the Champions League matches, I would imagine anyway. But this episode here, we're going to see the last two league games of the season. We've got Man 62 and St. Joseph's, which are based on some of our previous matches. St. Joseph's we've beat 6-0, beat 3-0, beat 2-0, so we've sort of dominated there. Man 62 beat 4-1. We drew 0-0 with them as well. They always seem to do well against us, Man 62, but hopefully this time we can finish them off. It's going to be a pretty good episode. One other thing I do want to bring to your attention is, as you can see there, we've got two affiliates, but we've actually now got a affiliate club as well as gained an extra senior affiliate. I think we gained Connerspor or something like that. Can I go into that? No? Okay. I often get confused in this game where all the things are gone, but yeah, there we go, the affiliates, that's what I'm looking for. So yeah, Cannons is now going to be our affiliate club, so we can now loan players out to Cannons, which is a good thing for me. That's why I brought in a lot more young players this season, because when it comes to the next season, so in the next transfer window, we're going to send quite a few players down to Cannons. They're currently in the second division. They're going to get promoted up. Be great if they got promoted up. No, they're down in fourth, so they're not going to get promoted by the looks of it. There's a chance they might scrape into the playoffs, but even if they don't, we'll still send them quite a few players in the transfer window for next season, and that should hopefully bolster them up and get them promoted into the first division as well. And then we can sort of help them out. We can give them some really good players, and if they do get into the Europa League, then that's going to sort of help just build another team in the nation as well. So yeah, let's get into the first of these two matches in this episode, Man 62, and see just how many goals we can score, and if we can just basically hammer them, because I don't like them. They're our bogey team in this career mode, and I want to destroy them. Let's go. And here we go. As you can see, we are big favourites for this match as normal, although we do have quite a few injury problems, but I think we're still going to be too strong for them. Of course, we have Luis Philippe, who's just incredible. Look at those. His stats are going up as well. He's just amazing, this guy is. He really is. But let's have a quick look at the team that we've got scheduled for you. We're going to go back to this old formation, mainly because the other two formations I'm using, everyone's injured, so I can't really use them. So we've got Ramito in goal, who, again, look at him. Stats are going up. He's just getting better and better, this player. And I've also found out at the previous match that he also has Italian nationality. So he's actually, we've had a few games this season where the Italian under-21s coach has actually been to watch our games because he's tempted to bring Ramito into the Italian under-21s. I'm not quite sure how Australia think about that. I think if I was them, I think I'd call him up for the national side now and try and get him a cap so he's locked in for the future. But at the moment, yeah, that's what they're looking at. Italy looking to try and bring in Ramito. Right back, we've got Jamie Wildman, our American right back we brought in the summer. Really, really good player, this one. He's had most of the season. He's had a couple of injuries. But yeah, he's done really well for us. Yeah, he's all locked in for a contract next season already as well. At centre-back, we have Inigo Garcia, the player that we loaned this season, been cracking for us this year, and even scored a few goals as well. So he's been very, very good for us. Alongside him, we have Juan Carlos Dulce, the Argentinian we brought in the summer as well. A good player. Doesn't seem to have much more of a future left in him, though, to tell the truth. He doesn't seem to have much left to grow into, but he's still a very good player now, so that's good for us. At left back, we have another Australian in the shape of Jared Murphy. Again, another very good player who's had a lot of football for us this season. A really good player, actually. I'm hoping we can get more out of him, and he's locked in for a contract next year as well. Somebody who's done really well, we brought him a few years back now, Anders Broger. His stats have just shot up this season. he's been doing so well. He's actually wanted now by, well, he was wanted by a couple of the big Danish clubs, but that seems to have died down a bit now. But yeah, he's just such a good player, and he's locked in for the next year as well. And it's so good to see just how well this lad has grown, because he's gone from a 16-year-old youth player now to an 18-year-old, very good rating for the senior team. Alongside him, we have, of course, another Australian in the shape of Chris Morgan, another very, very good player who was wanted by quite a few clubs. I'm sure they'll all come back in the summer, but I think because I've signed quite a few new contracts on these players now, people are starting to back off a little bit, but that's good. Hopefully these guys will, now they've had a full season to play with each other, I think the Champions League should be a bit easier for us this year. We've got Pavica Most, the Croatian, at attacking midfield, another very good young player. Not played a huge amount of football this year, but whenever he has done, he's been really good as well. In the middle, we have Cristiano, who, I tell you what, I think we saw it right at the beginning of the season. This lad scored a cracking long shot, and he scored a few more this season. I think he scored 5 goals, and every single one's been 30-yard plus. They've been incredible goals. Really good player, and he's actually wanted. Who's he wanted by? He's wanted by Guimarães in the Portuguese First Division. We've slapped £1 million on him anyway. That's what we want for him. And this is the lad who's been cracking this season for us. Luis Felipe, as you can see, just a star player. He's the best player we've possibly got. He's wanted by Sao Paulo, so he's wanted by a top Brazilian side. That shows how good he is, and he's locked in for next year as well, which is even better. And up front, we've had to go with Mark Kelly, which is not a bad thing. He's done okay for us. He's not played a lot of football this season, but he is like our 4th or 5th choice striker. But because of injuries, that's all we've got to play with at the moment. So, bench-wise, no one out of the ordinary on there, really. We've got Suis Kun, who's the Colombian right-back we brought in the summer. Manalash is the Romanian lad we've had for a couple of years now. Trying to build him up just like we did with Broga as well. Twyford, of course, our main striker, who's been knocking in the goals. He's on loan from Nottingham Forest, but he's got a slight injury at the moment as well. And then, of course, our new goalkeeper, Gordon Kidby. Not Kirby. I called him Kirby earlier, don't know why. But enough of my chatting on. I've been chatting for so long now. We've not actually seen any football yet. Let's get straight into it now. Let's go, go, go. Look at that. Luis Felipe has got 12 assists so far. And Jared Murphy's got 11 from left back. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Let's go. Let us go. And see how many goals we can score against Man 62. Like I said, they annoy me, Man 62. They're a little bit too... They're just that boat. I don't know why we seem to always struggle against Man 62. As Brogan now on the ball, done so well over the last couple of years to grow into the player he has. Of course, we did have another lad. He was a striker, Hugard, but he got brought in this summer for 50 grand, I think it was. Which, now I think about it, I'm a little bit disappointed we sold him for that much. But at the end of the day, we had a lot of strikers. We brought a few more strikers, and I've got one locked in for the summer who's a cracking player. You're going to really like him when you see him. Really good striker. And I think next year striker options is not going to be a problem at all. We've got Mark Kelly. We're going to lose Twyford. Of course, he's on loan, so he's going to go back to Nottingham Forest. But I'm going to try and not go for any loans, I think, this season. I don't think we need to. I think we've got a really good squad. Like I said, I'm going to send a few players down to Cannons to try and help boost them up and try and get them promoted up to the First Division, because I think having them in the First Division alongside us is going to make it a bit better. And if we can send them some good players, that they'll start to do a little bit better in Europe. And I don't get me wrong, I'm not going to send them our best players. I'm going to send them some of our younger players, some of our Gibraltarian players as well that we want to try and get a bit of first team football into. Because I'm not quite sure how it works. If I'm a full-time team and I'm sending players to a part-time club, I'm not quite sure how it works. I'm not quite sure if they're only going to go down to part-time training, which is not the best thing for some of our youngsters. So I'm only going to send the ones that I think will benefit from a lot of first team football, or the ones that I think will, ones that I don't think are going to progress too much more. So they're good enough to play there, I think. Players like Lewis Stevens, who's a really good young player, we haven't really used much because as soon as we've gone professional, we've brought in a few of these players. I said I'm not happy. It says to encourage them. I'm going to say I'm not happy. Just try and fire them up. There we go. That seems to work. Yeah. So I forgot what I was saying now. Yeah. Since we've gone professional, we've brought in so many good players now that a lot of the nationals are really just not good enough for us. So we've still got players like Frank Evans, players like McDonald, Conroy, Ashley Riley. We've still got the goalkeeper, McDonald. We've still got Lee Howard and Lewis Stevens, who are 2 youngsters from Gibraltar. And I think quite a few of those players might disappear off to Cannons next year to Hope, just to basically boost them up and get them up into the First Division. And then I think we'll send them a couple of players as well that we want to try and get a bit of first team football for. We've got a few good young players now. Really good young players. And I can't believe we're not winning this game yet. Mark Kelly must not be doing too well up front. Who do we have? We have Manalash. How do we want to play this? Who's playing well in... See, attacking midfield-wise, they're all struggling a bit, aren't they? I'm thinking Moss is not 100% fit, so we take off Moss and bring on... Let's bring on Twyford. He's just coming back from injury, but I think he should be okay. Let's do that, and then we can just have 2 attacking midfielders, 2 strikers. That might make it a little bit more dangerous. Especially the amount of goals that Twyford has scored this season. Let's go for a supporting target man as well. Head the ball onto Twyford. Come on, guys, get a goal. Been scoring goals for fun this season. Don't come into the recording episodes and struggle again. That always seems to happen on this game. Have a really good season, scoring tons and tons of goals. Like I won one game 7-1 away from home. I say away from home. Of course, we're at the same stadium every single game. I'm still desperate to build our own stadium, but at the moment we just don't have the fan base. I'm thinking after another year of Champions League, we'll try again and see if that's boosted us up enough. Twyford. Oh, he's at the post. Oh. I thought we'd stole it then the last minute. Well, the last minute. There's still 20 minutes left, but I thought we'd stolen it then. But we do seem to be getting some highlights now, which is good. Broga across to Philippe. Philippe sees the run of Kelly. Can Kelly get there? He does just about. He's got the pace. Kelly's in. It's saved by Coling, but Kelly's got it again. And it's tackled by Baxter. And kicked clear. And of course we have Baxter as well, the left back as well. So again, we'll look to maybe try and send him down to Cannons as well. Don't get me wrong, these players are far too good for the second division, but at the same time, they're not going to get first team football with us anyway, so they might as well send them off. And I want to keep up. If it wasn't for the Champions League quota, I'd probably let them all go to other clubs, but I don't really want to do that. We need the Champions League quota players, so we're going to keep a hold of them for probably the Champions League games, and then we'll probably send them down to Cannons to get a full season's worth of football. So get them back progressing as they should be. Cristiano sees the run of Twyford. Can he get the goal? Twyford, he does. He scores the goal. It's 1-0. Oh, God. It's a bit of a worry, that one. He scored 27 goals now, Twyford, this season. Of course, Cristobal Jimenez scored about 30-odd last season. Maybe 33, 34. Which is a little bit disappointing to lose him for £500. But still, Twyford seems to have filled that gap. And I think next year, like I say, we're going to let Twyford go back to Nottingham Forest. Because we've got players like Mark Kelly, who's going to be a backup striker for us next season. But we've got players like the striker I'm bringing in the summer. He's already signed up from America. Yeah, I've got an American guy coming in. We have Bustamante, who's been fantastic this season as well. The young Argentinian striker we brought in the summer. But he's out injured at the moment as well. We've been really bad for injuries recently. We've got quite a lot. We've got Manalash, of course, the young striker from... as we scored a second as well. Manalash, the young striker from Romania we were looking at a second ago. It was Kelly, and it's Luis Felipe putting the empty net. Well done. Well done, lads. It was a bit of a worry towards the end, but we finally got there. And let's bring on Manalash for the last few minutes. Why not? And then Marlon Manning in place of Chris Morgan. Doesn't really matter. There's like 6 minutes left. It doesn't really matter really, but it's nice to give them a little bit of first team football. Yes, we've got a lot of strikers anyway for next season, so I think we should be fine. And of course, that Cameroonian lad, which I've forgotten his name, he's a great striker. He's going to get a lot of football for us next year as well. So, depending on what formation we play, this one, of course, we play because our best players are all attacking midfielders. So, we've got this one, but the other formation we like to play has 3 strikers and 3 central midfielders as well. So, we don't often play with wingers, that's the problem. But obviously, we're bringing in Baird, who's such a good left winger. We will start to do that. We played that formation a few times. We played another young Romanian lad we brought a couple of years ago. I think it was Iaspas, something like that. But he's been very, very good when he comes in. But he's not rated very highly by the coaches. But whenever he's played, he's been fantastic. As we do have another highlight, but there's still over a minute left. So I'd imagine this is going to be another goal scoring opportunity rather than just the end. Because of course you always get a highlight at the very end as well. But I think this might just be a goal scoring opportunity. This one, Cristiano to Twyford. Into Manalash, and he's just come on as a substitute, and he does score a goal. Well done, Manalash. It's his first goal of the season. That's because he hasn't really played a lot this year. Because of the players we've had. Of course, we brought in 2 really good strikers in the summer on loan. Just because I was panicking when we lost Jimenez, but we seem to have found some really good young players here we've got in the team as well now. So we're not going to need to bring in those loans next year. Of course, I've already sent the lad from Chelsea back because he got an injury. And Twyford, of course, has only got a couple of games left now before his finishes as well. And hopefully, I'm really hoping we get a better Champions League draw this year, because we've had Maribor 3 years in a row, and although we've been getting close to him, we just seem to really struggle. And if we can get an easier draw than Maribor, I don't know what's happened now with the seedings, whether we've ended up in a better seeding group. I know we don't have to do the first qualifying stage anymore, which is actually more of a hindrance, really, because we could have done with that first qualifying stage to boost our fitness up. But there we go. We had 33 shots and only 3 goals. So I'm pleased anyway. You did well. And yeah, that's the end of that match. Let's have a quick look at the league table. We are now 17 points at the top with 1 game left. I don't think they're going to catch us somehow. Let's get into that last game of the season, which is against St. Joseph's? Yeah, St. Joseph's, wasn't it? Yeah. Let's get straight into it now. And here we are, the final match of the season, of course, or the league season anyway. We've still got our 2 cup finals coming in the next episode. But as you can see, we're heavy favourites once again. We are the last game of the season. So should we win this, we will win the league by 17 points, which I think is probably our biggest sort of gap so far, which is pretty good. Angels have been relegated officially now. Britannia are guaranteed second. Gibraltar United are guaranteed third. So I think everything important has already happened. Well, I say they're guarenteed. They've already played their matches anyway. It doesn't matter, does it? If St. Joseph's win, they can't go any higher. So effectively, this match means nothing to anybody. Olympique are going to be in the relegation playoff. So yeah, it could be interesting for them. I think they've been coming up and down Olympique quite a lot. Now we've gone back to this formation with 3 up front, which is pretty good. We've got Ramita still in goal, Murphy still, Dulce, he did play in the last game, didn't he? But I'll show you anyway, yep. We've got Hylton in defence because Martinez is injured. Martinez? It is Martinez, isn't it? I'm getting confused out of all these names. Marlman still at right back. We've got Triffitt coming in at midfield. Really good young player this. We brought him in the summer and he's done really well for us. Of course, he's come from Man United, so he can't be a bad player, can he? Luis Felipe Cristiano still. Got Manalash playing up front, our young Romanian striker. Brought him at the age of 16. He's done well for us so far, and he came on and scored his first ever goal in the last match. So we thought we'd start him in this one, see how he gets on. This could be one of the lads that we send down to Cannons next season, because potential ability is not massively high, but I think giving him a full year of first team football will definitely help him out. In the middle, of course, we have a Maximiliano Bustamante, the player that I've been raving about. He's done well for us this year. He's had a couple of injuries, which has been a bit of a problem, but apart from that, he's scored 9 goals in 14 games. Well, he's actually scored 22 goals in 17 if you can count on the cup games as well. 11 assists, which is really good, and 3 player of the matches. So he's done a really good season for us, and I think this lad's just going to get better and better. And then alongside them, of course, we have Frank Banning, the player we brought in only a few weeks back, actually. Cameroonian striker. I think we brought him back in January, actually. And he scored quite a few goals for so far. 9 goals in 11 games with 8 assists. 2 player of the matches. This player is going to have a big future with us, I think. And as you can see, he's not actually on a very high wage compared to some players as well. And he's got the highest value. He's valued at 2.2. I think that's because we actually paid money for this lad. And I think that's why he's actually got a value. No one else seems to have a value. And I think that's just going to come with building up a reputation as well. So here we go. We've got 3 players up front in this one, so I'm expecting a lot of goals. And it is against St. Joseph's, a team that we normally beat quite convincingly. So I'm hoping for goals anyway. I'm sure you guys are hoping for goals, because the last game, we only won 3-0 in the last game, which is a little bit disappointing considering some of the massive results we've had so far. Won 3-0 and all 3 of them goals came in the last 10 minutes. We're a little bit worried for a while. Here we go, 1 minute and 26. We've got a highlight already. Jared Murphy has got a few assists from left midfield. There's Cristiano, he likes to hit them long. Plays it into Bustamante. It's a good save there by Lim. Bustamante almost scoring. And it's a shame we've had 2 away games at the end of the season, isn't it? Because I'm not really able to show you how much we're filling up the stadiums now for a 0 home game. I still don't think we've got enough fan base to really get our own stadium on the go, but give it another year or 2, maybe we might just get there. I think we've got money in the bank now to potentially go for it. And if we can do well in the Champions League, then that's definitely could be something we could look at as well. I think this year our team is stronger. I still don't think it's quite as strong as some of the other teams. There's Dulce off the crossbar. And already 5 minutes in, we're really starting to control the game. And I can't imagine it's going to be too long before we get our first goal in this one. Of course, like I said, Bustamante is he's just come back from injury, which is why he's only got 83 condition at the moment. As is Harlton as well, but with the injuries we're having, it's a bit annoying really. We've had quite a few injuries towards the end of the season. We were fine all season, but towards the end, I don't know if it's just the amount of games racking up or what, but we've started to struggle a bit with injuries. Now, I would love to get into the Europa League because I think I think the Europa League is going to be more sort of our level at the moment if we can. But obviously to get the Europa League, we've got to win the second qualifying stage, which we've never done. Then we've got to win the third qualifying stage. If we win the third qualifying stage, then we're definitely into the Europa League. Because if we lose in the Champions League playoff, we go to the Europa League. If we win the Champions League playoff, we go to the Champions League. Which, don't get me wrong, if we go to the Champions League, I'll be more than happy because we'll get a hell of a lot of money. You get about 11 or 12 million just for getting in the Champions League. And they're through here. Dulce, can you tackle him? No. And they've scored. Okay, our last league game of the season, we're going to have to come from behind to pick up the victory as Craig Gilby scores the goal. That's a bit of a shocker. What else happened here? I'm not impressed. Not impressed here at all. And there's the goal by Gilby. So again, we've had 8 shots to their 2 and they're 1-0 up. We have hit the crossbar. They've got a few of our old players here as well. They've got Domingo Alvarez. Come on, take the ball off them. Don't lose here again, whatever you do. Harton takes it away. So Luis Felipe plays a great ball up to Bustamante. We are on the counter-attack. Can you see Banning on the left-hand side? He does. Or on the right-hand side, sorry. And Banning sees the back of the net. He bangs it in. Frank Bangin. What a player this young lad has turned out to be. When I found him, when I was scanning through some of the African sort of under-20 sides, and I found him, I thought to myself, you know what? Just looking at the stats, the ones that I could see, I knew he was going to be a cracking player. And it's why actually the first player I've actually spent proper money on, really. I paid £10,000 for him, which is, I don't think it's a record. I think our record is 17,000 we paid for Ashley Riley, but that was a mistake because I didn't realise he was in a compensation. But there we go. And it's a penalty now as well as Lobato fouls Banning in the area, and Banning's going to get to take the penalty. He's looking for his second goal in a matter of a few minutes to take this game to 2-1 to Europa Point before half-time. The fans behind the goal are really... Oh, they're looking a bit panicked now. And Banning does put it in the back of the net, straight down the middle. So there's a few empty seats in the away end, which is a little bit disappointing. Not many. I think there's 1,000... I think they always say in the game there's 1,000 seats in that away end, which is a bit crazy considering there's not 1,000. Well, it's like a 2,000 seat stadium. How's the 2,000 seats in that end? But I'm not going to get into the technicalities of it. But yeah, we always seem... It always says we sell out, but there seems to be a few empty spaces there. Luis Felipe, can we make it 3-1 before half-time? Ball comes out, it's Banning, and he's just got such a good work rate. Look at that, he's the striker. When the ball comes out, he's the first person to pick the ball up and plays it over the top to Luis Felipe, who plays it out to Triffett, who headed it from the edge of the area and almost lobbed it over the top of Lim. It was crazy. Almost a right cheeky goal there. But yeah, I like this Banning because he just seems to have such a good work rate as well, because like you've just seen, the ball came out from the corner, and that's not just a one-off. He does that quite a lot. Whenever the ball comes out from a corner, you generally find he's the one that gets back. And I saw it a few weeks back. There's a great cross in by Manning, and Bustamante scores a third. And just look how good this Banning is. He's just such a good player. And I think next year we're going to see a lot of that lad. And alongside Bustamante as well, we've got Manalash as well, who, like I said, might go out on loan to Cannons. We've got Munyesa as well, the Rwandan striker we brought in the summer, who's not really played a lot. We've got the new American striker I'm bringing in the summer, but I'll show you obviously when we get into the Champions League matches. So yeah, it's looking like a really good season next year for us. I just wish we can do something in the Champions League. That'd be amazing. Just getting through that second qualifying stage would be huge to get us a nice chunk of extra money as well. Because at the moment, of course, money is a bit of a struggle. We're having to sell players to keep afloat, basically because of our wage budget is higher. Although the wage budget is what we've been told to spend by the club, it's probably higher than what we're getting back in Champions League money every year. So we're having to sell a few players here and there. If we can get ourselves a stadium, we can start to get more sort of ticket sales and that sort of stuff, then we'll be looking pretty good, actually, I think. We'll be able to self-sustain. But at the moment, we're managing to sell players anyway. The thing is, we're buying some really good players, and clubs do want them. So we can make a few quid here and there, which does keep us afloat. So it's not a major problem. Like I said before, we're going to have to be a selling club for the first few years anyway, just to try and build our money up as well, build our bank balance up to afford that brand new stadium, because it's probably going to cost a bit. I don't know how much a stadium would cost, but I'm assuming at least sort of 5-10 million we're looking for a small stadium of like 5 or 6,000 seats would probably be enough for us, I think, to start off with. I don't think we're going to go for like a 60,000 seater stadium or anything like that. Even a stadium this size of our own would be better. But I would hope for something a little bit better than this. It'd be nice to have something a little bit better than this. But even if we've just got ourselves a stadium that we can expand as well, as time goes on we can expand the stadium when we've got the money. That'd be really good as well. Right, 68 minutes gone. Luis Felipe has been booked, so maybe I'll bring him off for Pavisa Moss. Let's bring on Ashley Riley. He's not had a lot of football this season. Let's bring him on in place of Murphy, just to give him a little bit of football. And let's bring on Suskun, the Colombian right back. So we're going to use all our 3 substitutes now, but it shouldn't really matter too much, will it really? So we're going to bring those 3 guys on: Ashley Riley, Suskun, and Pavisa Moss. 3 good players. And Ashley Riley's been booked straight away. Well done, mate. Well done. So it looks like we're going to have 2 wins to end the season, which is pretty good. It's been, like I said, it's been a very successful season. We won the league by 17 points, which is our highest ever margin. And hopefully in the next episode we're going to pick up the Rock Cup and the Senior League Cup as well. I can't see any reason why we wouldn't pick those 2 cups up. So yeah, another good season. We've brought a lot of players in, as you can tell. We've brought a lot of players in. We've got rid of a lot of players as well, though, and they've scored. They've only going to sneak the goal in. That's poor defending, really. Is that Ashley Riley? No, it's Dulce. Poor defending by Dulce. Well, it was a back pass. It was just a little bit short, and Ramito just could not get there. Now, one thing that just did happen in the last match is that I got a bit of news afterwards that said that the Australian manager was at the game to keep an eye on Ramito, believe it or not. Murphy, is it Murphy? I keep forgetting his name now. Murphy and Chris Morgan as well. All 3 Australian lads. So that's pretty interesting. It seems that those players now are on the cusp of maybe getting a full call-up for the Australia side, which would be pretty good. It would definitely help boost their experience up and hopefully help them out as well. But yeah, that is the end of this season. Well, the end of the league season anyway. We've done very well. As you can see, we won the league by 17 points. 5 draws, 1 loss. I think we just get complacent sometimes, to tell the truth. That's probably the main reason why. Goal difference of plus 58 is very good. As you can probably tell, I'm really happy with that. Banning, I think, has been a great signing for us. Get a full season of football behind Banning, and I think he's just going to get better and better and better. And Bustamante was done really well as well. So let's leave the match now, and we will get to the schedule, and I will show you exactly what's going to happen. In the next episode, we have got the Senior League Cup final against Lincoln. Good old Lincoln Red Imps, the team that have always been up and around there for a long time now. And then we also have the Rock Cup final against Gibraltar United as well. And Gibraltar United did well last season, didn't they? Were they in the Europa League this year? Were they in the Europa League this year? No, they weren't. Okay. I don't know who were then. Doesn't matter, does it really? Yep. I'm going to stop talking crap now, yeah. We're going to come back next episode in a couple of days' time. We'll do these 2 cup finals. And after that, of course, it is the big, big day. The day that comes around probably once a week now because of rushing through these seasons. But yeah, the big day where we do have the Champions League matches. Oh, I really hope we get through the second qualifying stage this year. We've really built up a really good squad now. And we've got the most of them, if not all of them, locked in for a contract next season as well. So not going to lose that many in the summer. And as you can see, I'm working hard behind the scenes to bring in quite a few other players as well. So yeah, when that happens, we're going to have a pretty good team, I think. Hopefully. Some really good players, and this is our American striker. I'm not going to show you him yet. You'll have to wait until the next episode to see just how good he is, but hopefully he joins before the Champions League matches. That's the 29th of June. I'm sure he will do, yeah. So yeah, I'll see you in a couple of days for those next 2 cup finals, and hopefully we can get another domestic quad. I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.